me, and I am back with an unorthodox video for my channel. This, as you could read from the title, this video has to do with my ancestry. 2 years ago, I decided to take an Ancestry DNA test. I believe it was 2 years ago. I'd have to look on my phone. So just this past holiday, like around New Year's and Christmas or New Year's, anyway, I did a test with 23andMe. So what I did was I compared those two tests to see how close they were. And if there were completely different regions that I was assigned to versus one or the other. So if you're interested to see what I'm made of on Ancestry DNA versus 23andMe, then keep watching. So guys, as I mentioned, about 2 years ago, I think it was, I did a DNA test with the company Ancestry DNA. I'm sure you guys by now have heard of that company or seen the commercials for that company. So I did a DNA test for them. I was a little surprised at my results because that was the first time I had done anything like that. Then I decided to do a DNA test just recently with the company 23andMe, and I'm sure you've seen those commercials as well. There were a few differences, just to let you know, there were a few differences, and I am going to just like list out my breakout for 23andMe, and then I will list out my breakout with Ancestry, or vice versa. I want to do Ancestry first and then 23andMe, and then we'll talk about the differences. I can't say why there were the differences that there were, but there were some differences. If you're wondering why I'm so far back from the camera, unfortunately, I do have an eyelid infection, and that's probably due to some makeup, not cleaning it off well. So I just want to encourage everybody, please clean your makeup off your eye, well, especially off your eye area, but do make sure you get all of it, because apparently, I guess I did not, or either I reacted to a mascara, but it is in the eyelid area, and then it just got crazy from there. So it's kind of a bad infection up here. So I'm on antibiotics and a topical steroid. But hey, I don't want you guys to see how weird I look right now. But if you're wondering why I'm sitting back, this is not a beauty tutorial. And you will notice I'm going to stay away from eye makeup for a little bit. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, guys. So I want to start with Ancestry DNA. They didn't break it out the way that they used to show just the total of Africa versus the total of Europe versus the, they did not break out the continents or whatever like they did before. So I'm just going to start reading percentages to you on that. Now, Ancestry DNA, and you'll see me looking forward, I'm reading their website. Sometimes they update their databases, and therefore that will update your actual results. And then they have a note that says your DNA doesn't change, but our science does. We now have more data, so we can compare your DNA to even more populations around the world. This gives you a more precise estimate. So I did get 2 updates, and I did get this last update is what I'll be reading to you. So let's go ahead and get started with Ancestry DNA, and you will see a screen print of the actual breakout after I talk about them. So Ancestry DNA has me at 29% Cameroon, Congo, and Southeastern Bantu peoples, 29%, Nigeria 28%. Last time I remember they had me at 14% Nigeria, so that's changed. Mali 14%, And then they've got England, Wales, and Northwestern Europe, 12%. Ireland and Scotland, 6%. Benin and Togo, 4%. Senegal, 3%. France, which was not even there before, 1%. Ghana, 1%. Portugal, which was not there before, 1%. Sweden, 1%. Now, Mali at 14% also was not there. So that is a little different than what I was used to. And then they go and they have a community section of this that talks about early North Carolina African Americans. And it talks about the history on that. And then it says Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi African Americans. And it talks about the history on that. Let me just go ahead and add up the percentage of Africa versus Europe. And I will be right back. All right, guys. So when I tallied up Africa versus Europe, 79% Africa and 21% Europe, which would add up to the 100% of me. So that is Ancestry DNA. And now on to, and let me go ahead and put up the screenshots of the percent breakout here. All right, and getting back to 23andMe, 23andMe was a little different. And for those that don't know, 23andMe not only does the Ancestry DNA breakout, they will also, if you want to subscribe to that service, it is an additional price, but they will also look at your DNA and they would be able to tell you what you're most likely susceptible to when you get older in the future, even though you're not testing for it now. Maybe later on down the line you could possibly develop the condition. So they also tell you conditions you might be susceptible to. I did not subscribe to that service. However, I did just do the DNA, which is what I'm comparing here. Now, this one is a little different. I don't know, you know, each one of these companies have different databases. They have different DNA that they can compare your DNA to. I believe one has been around longer than the other one, and I believe Ancestry might have been around longer. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to find out. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the 23andMe breakout. All right, guys. So for 23andMe, it gives you your ancestry timeline. It gives you the DNA breakout, the parental inheritance, the DNA painting, scientific details, and of course FAQs. So those are the categories I'm given. I did download the app for both of those. So let's go on ahead and get into 23andMe Ancestry DNA breakout. They broke it out into Sub-Saharan Africa, European, and East Asian and Native American, which is a category I did not have in Ancestry DNA. So, of course, it starts out and it says my name, 100% of me. And then Sub-Saharan Africa, the total is 76.2%. West Africa is 61.3%. 29.7% of that being Nigerian, 17.3% being Ghanaian, I think is what it is. Ghanaian, Liberian, and Sierra Leonean, 17.3%. So Ghanaian, Liberian, and Sierra Leonean all make up the 17.3%. And forgive me if I mispronounce any of these areas. It's either because I just can't make it out or I've never heard of the area. So here is a part of the West African makeup is Senegambian and Guinean. Not Ghanaian, Guinean. 6.7%. I'm being summoned. So I run all the way downstairs because my daughter says it's an emergency. And the emergency was that she dropped her spoon on the floor. She's 6. Pick it up and put it in the sink. Anyways, so broadly West African was 7.6%. I just ran up the stairs. And I know you guys can see that my eye is inflamed. Ignore it. Congolese and Southern East Africa is 11.9%. Of that 11.9%, Angolan, thought it would be Angolian, but it says Angolan and Congolese 7%. Southeast Africa 2.7%. Broadly Congolese and Southern East African 2.2%. And another category, broadly Sub-Saharan African 3%. So broadly, which means they probably can't pinpoint the exact little countries in that area, I'm guessing. So that is that for Sub-Saharan Africa. Now let's get on to the European side. All right, and as I explained before, guys, this I do have an eyelid infection due to probably not cleaning my makeup off good enough, so excuse that. This is not a beauty video. My European part is 21.6%. That is more than I wrote it down. That is more than well, it's almost the same. Yeah, that is the same. I only had 21%. In Ancestry DNA and 21.6%. So where the rest of the makeup is going to come from is this Asian. But Northwestern European is 14.1%. Of that, 7.9% is British and Irish. 6.2% is broadly Northwestern Europe. And the other category under European is Southern European, 5.2%. Italian, 1.5%. Italian wasn't even on Ancestry DNA. Spanish and Portuguese. I did have Portugal on there at 1%. Spain was not directly called out and pulled out on the Ancestry DNA, but Spanish and Portugal are lumped together here. So Spanish and Portuguese are lumped together at 0.9%, and broadly Southern European 2.8%. Broadly European is 2.3%. Okay, so 21.6 in 23andMe European versus 21% in Ancestry. The European, the total percentage is the same, but Italian wasn't even in the other one. Irish was there, but Irish and I think they said Irish and I forgot what they said, Irish and Scottish or something, 6%. So now we get down to the entire section that was not listed in Ancestry, and that's East Asian and Native American. Now, although this entire category is only 1.2%, the fact that it wasn't even mentioned is a little odd to me in Ancestry DNA. Chinese and Southeastern Asian, 0.9%. Filipino and Austronesian, 0.6%. Indonesian, Thai, Khmer, and Myanmar, 0.3%. Native American, 0.2%, which is odd because my grandfather's supposed to be half on my father's side. And I understand these things get watered down by the time they get to you. So broadly East Asian and Native American, 0.3%. So Native American is in there twice, kind of. So I don't know, is it 0.3% Native American? I'm confused. So Native American 0.2%, broadly East Asian and Native American 0.1%, and a totally unassigned area of this at 1%. So that is my ancestry composition for 23andMe, and you guys can see a couple of the screenshots here. So guys, that is it. The entire small 1.2% of Asian was a little odd that it was stuck in there. I find that kind of weird. And the fact that it wasn't in Ancestry was kind of weird, but that is me in a nutshell. I'd say about 21% Asian, 21.6% European, African, 76.2% versus 79. I don't know. I'm not sure. Of course, the Asian is what's taken out of that 79%, and the Asian was in the other company, 23andMe. So there is a loud helicopter going overhead. I don't know if you guys can hear it. But anyway, that is it. That is what I am made of. I think this is very interesting. Guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think I would have been mixed with? It's kind of hard with African Americans. Sometimes you can't tell unless they're a direct mix. But some people do see some things in me. I'm obviously African American, but Nigerian was, I don't remember that it was 29.7%. So it is interesting. So, but that's a difference too. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you guys taken this test? What were your major differences? Did it differ from what you thought your parents told you, or from what you were told, or what you think about your own heritage? So with that said, subscribe if you would like to watch other videos. I do unboxings and beauty videos. Although with this bum eye that I have, I will not be doing any beauty videos soon. Probably just unboxing, like skincare and beauty stuff, but unboxing, giving my eye a break. And I am going to do FabFitFun clothing subscription right after this, so you'll see another video on that. If you are interested in my channel, go ahead and hit that bell button so you're notified, and we will see you in the next one.